I've got balls of steel.
Turn it up.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to 3NN 42. 42.
We're getting old.
So, thank you for joining us, everybody. My name is Nick Tesla.
I'm Brian McFadden.
I'm Richard Colossal, man. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? I got the ninja.
We're back.
I got the ninja, and I got
The ninja's back.
I got the Oregon knowledge man over here. I don't even know what to call him right now. So I thank you, everybody, for joining us. Today is our solutions episode. We're not gonna talk about the problems. I know a lot of times you come to 3NN and then you're like, these motherfuckers are always talking about problems. It's so negative. Always talking about what's wrong with the world. How about you start talking about what's right with the world, or at least how to make what's wrong right? All right. Well, today we hear you.
Solutions,
We're
baby.
doing that
Solutions.
today. We're doing
Hold on.
it.
What is 42? The answer?
Solutions.
Hold on. What is 42 the answer to? Life, the universe, and everything. So, this is your answer episode. All right. And here's I want to also tell everybody. Okay. I was not feeling well for the last couple of days, so I really wasn't able to do the best preparation. But I prepared for this my whole life. Okay. What? I'm serious. No. But I'm serious. Okay. I've done only the slightest preparation. But here's the thing. We don't have to think about these problems as, oh, well, you know what, we got to lay them out and we really got to, like, address them and blah, blah, blah. That's how we get caught up in the politics and shit. That's where the devil's in the details, all right? We can just be simple as shit and look at, like, all right, hold on. The world's got a starvation problem, then let's take food to the starving people, or at least take an ability to grow their own food to the starving people. It's not fucking rocket science here, you know what I'm saying? But then politics get involved. Well, you know, foreign aid is blah, blah, blah. And it's like, shut the fuck up and feed these people. Okay.
All right. Well, what do you think the first solution to starvation is? Because honestly, listen. When it comes down to it,
The common complaint is there's not enough money to feed everybody. Well, cut the salary of some of these 6- and 7-figure-a-year CEOs and put that money to feeding these people.
No, honestly, here is the solution.
Well, the answer's not Monsanto, but go ahead.
No. Here is the solution to cutting starvation all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody goes vegan, veganism promotes the lack of poverty.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because it takes literally, what is it? Let me get the numbers right, because I don't want to sound like an idiot on public figure online. It takes about 2-3 acres of grain to feed one cow.
Mm-hmm.
That acre of grain, you can feed the homeless with them people. You can feed the homeless with that. You can feed everybody with those grains, because you need
in our capitalist society, would that actually go to be used?
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that is a diversion to the solution. That's definitely a sort of a solution, even though I don't know if the world would ever. I don't know how realistic it is. I'm not
honestly,
saying they have to be that realistic of solutions.
In the end,
I don't know how
it's
willing the world would be to go to non-meat.
In the end, I'm sorry, the world's going to have to, because
I don't think they will.
By the time 9 billion people come in, the
black rhino just went extinct. We're killing off animals that we're not even eating.
By the year 2050, we're going to have somewhere around 9 billion people on the planet.
I bet you we'll be closer to 10 billion.
Yeah, but even by then,
because it's just
so
rampant.
9 billion, 10 billion, we're not going to have enough animals to sustain us all to eat meat. We have to. See,
I think the elite. There will always be elite, or maybe not always.
Oh, there will always be elite.
There's going to be elite, and I think the elite are going to want to eat meat. You know?
Oh, of course.
You ever seen that hummus commercial where the guy's like, "Oh, my dad likes hummus," and he's like, "You know what this would taste good on? Meat." I'm like, "That's me, yo. That's me." It's like, yo, I love the vegan lifestyle. I love it to death. I think it's like a very healthy and forward conscious thinking way.
Well,
and it's great for humanity, right?
I'm a vegan, and this is the reason why I'm talking.
I want a cheeseburger, dude. I want a steak.
Well, the thing is, you can have
every now and then.
Listen. You can have a burger and a cheeseburger that tastes like a cheesesteak or a cheeseburger without having meat.
If they can synthetically make it where it
what do you mean
tastes
synthetic?
that
Why would they synthetically make it?
In Japan they made turd burgers, and apparently they tasted just like cheeseburgers.
But
you couldn't tell the difference.
They have vegetables that can make. You can make veggie burgers.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you've ever had a portobello burger, you take a portobello mushroom and just use that like a burger patty. Oh my God, it's like one of the most amazing things you've ever had, and you're like, I might be able to abandon burgers now. Like when I started to go try and be much more healthy. I did try and do a little bit of vegetarian, and it was hard for me because I couldn't give up steaks and cheeseburgers. But I could almost give up cheeseburgers. But once I found portobello mushroom burgers, I could almost give
Honestly,
up cheeseburgers.
I'm gonna keep it 100.
Portobello
To be
cheeseburgers are
a
the solution.
vegan, being a vegan actually doesn't just change our. It's not going to just change our economics. It's going to change our. It's going to globally change us as a whole.
But will it change our evolutionary tract?
It would change
and our biochemistry.
It would change everything. We're not biologically predetermined to eat meat. You know that, right?
I've heard many arguments on both sides of that, and I'm
but
not really sure myself
we're not biologically
what I believe.
meant
I've had people argue
we're
with
not
me
meant
to
to eat
the death of themselves.
The reason why the only reason why humans eat meat in the first place is because through
Tastes damn good.
But without meat,
well, hold on.
would we be where
no,
we're at
listen,
in this-
listen.
would
We
be
wouldn't.
at this
No.
civilized
Listen.
state?
We wouldn't be here. But the reason why humans have eaten meat is because throughout the season, when it becomes wintertime, there aren't as much greens and plants to eat
And
to
your meat
force.
has been
So
stored.
what you do
stored
is
your meat and you dried it and cured
yeah,
it.
exactly. So you take an entire bison and you feed a whole entire
So hold on.
population.
If the world
tribe of
moves
Native Americans.
to veganism, would it be okay for us to, considering our history, humanity's history, would it be okay for us to still eat beef jerky?
No, it's
If
not.
the
no,
if the
'cause
world
it's
goes to
not-
veganism.
Because that's
it's not
still
ethical.
meat.
But it's
still
cured.
meat.
But it's
still
cured.
meat.
It's still
you
meat.
had
But
to
it's
kill
like-
an animal to make it. It's
But
still
it's like
meat.
It's still
reliving our evolutionary history.
No, man.
You know, and we're not going to just
Listen,
eat
listen.
meat just to eat meat and
But
just
listen,
slaughter animals
we
just to
have
slaughter animals.
we
Like,
have
that's
part
way
of our culture. We have way more abundant of food now than any time
Yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to say. Is,
or even in human.
dude,
Thanks,
we can create
Monsanto.
something that tastes like steak.
Monsanto.
We can create something that tastes just like steak, if not better than the best T-bone or portobello steak that you've ever had in your life. Right? There's a portobello steak, porterhouse steak that you've ever had in your life. Right?
portobello's-
Or
Yeah,
even,
but
even ribeye. You know what I'm saying?
You're going off topic.
We can
a little bit.
synthetically make it.
What I'm trying to get across is that meat is something that we had to eat in order to survive. So
True.
throughout time, people have survived off
Because now we have indoor
grains,
greenhouses. They can grow
rice,
those plants through the winter that they used to not be able to.
lagoons. We've had these things to eat,
I see where you're
and then
coming from.
and then when the season comes and we can't eat those kinds of foods, we would eat bison. Like we would take a whole bison for a whole Native American tribe
Yes.
that would last 3 or 4 months. You know, being cured, turned into jerky, things like that, and that's what helped you survive
So
over the
but
winter
you'll have
season.
so much resistance.
But that's
to
the
this.
only reason why we had to eat meat in the first place, and that's the only reason why people eat meat in the first place. But this brings me back to this point.
You go to Texas and,
No.
and you tell them you're
But
playing.
listen,
murder 'em.
Listen,
They'll murder 'em.
But to bring me back to this
Probably
point,
would, yeah.
now that we have so much abundance of food, that we
Yeah.
know that our agriculture can grow so much food, there is no point for us to slaughter an innocent animal
No, not
to
at all.
eat meat.
Not at all. 150% agree with you there.
And that's why
So
I
what if
honestly
the
think
people that are clinging to their meat say, "All right, well, we have the ability to grow meat now"?
they're being no. First off,
Is that okay?
it's not okay. You know why?
Lab-grown meat's not okay.
No, it's not okay.
Why?
Consider that
Lab-grown meat?
genetically
Yes,
modified.
lab-grown meat.
Like synthetic?
Yes.
put that-
Completely 100%
Not-
synthetic.
Well,
I put that in the
when you
same
grow somebody
category as GMO.
when you grow somebody a penis or an ear or something like that, then for a surgery,
Yo,
okay,
look,
which
man,
hey, it's
a
the
penis in
cutting
the ear
edge.
is a lot different from a broccoli, my man.
Dude, it's the cutting edge of science. But what I'm saying is, they're growing things now. Okay, and let's just say in the next 5, I'm saying we're closer to 5, but 5-10 years, we come to the ability where we can actually grow ourselves the parts of the cow that we like, the muscles of the cow
Well,
that
see,
we
they-
like to
they-
eat.
they
you
are
know, with a
working on
certain
that.
amount of fat on it. You know what I'm saying? Grind it up. It's ground beef, and there was never a cow murdered in its life. It was grown to be cheeseburgers.
They are working on that now, from what I've read, and
Is that
actually,
ethically okay?
I would consider it ethically okay. Because
Would you eat that as a vegan?
as a vegan,
It's still meat, but there's no animal ever suffered.
if no animal ever suffered, was killed, tortured, harmed in the product of it,
It sounds like a bad movie to me.
I would. Yeah, it does.
We're all told we're eating grown meat, and all of a sudden somebody stumbles across a farm, and it's like, yo, wait, these animals are being slaughtered. This is illegal.
It sounds like something out of Brave New World.
It's like dystopian. All right, let's move on to a whole nother, what do you call it? Another solution here. Unless you got some,
no,
you got
no.
anything else you want to add?
I just want to add on to that a little bit. I just think that going vegan will just definitely help our poverty rates all around the world. First off, it will help our poverty rates. It will stop the slaughter of animals, and it would definitely make us a lot more healthy because of heart. You know, we suffer from so many fucking diseases, heart disease.
between our consumption of
osteoporosis,
meat and our consumption of what do you call
dairy
processed
products,
foods.
dairy products,
The
and
processed foods. Processed foods is like
It's not even that. It's
and your microwave. Throw your microwave out the window.
I don't even
if
own
you
one.
if you're smart, throw your damn microwave out the window because that thing is just basically radiating
haven't
the
had
innards
one.
of your body.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
everybody, go vegan, man. If you can, go vegan. Look into it.
Yeah,
And
just don't eat any turd burgers. If you love your burgers, just eat a burger every 6 months or something to satiate
All right, we
yourself
done.
and then
Let's-
feel a little guilty. All right, but don't eat any turd burgers. That's what scares me about veganism. Is that the whole world goes to veganism? Somebody's going to be pushing a turd burger on me, and I'm going to be like, you know what? I ain't had
Bro,
a burger in a
we
long
don't eat
time.
turd burgers,
I
man.
ain't had a burger in a long time. I'll go for the
overseas
turd
all
burger.
right, all right. Let's move
Alright,
on.
over
Next one.
The biggest world issue for me right now because why it's the biggest issue is because we have literally probably over 1 million empty. What? Somebody knocking on the door? Nah. We got over 1 million empty.
You got somebody knocking on the door.
Oh well. We got over 1 million empty houses
That's what
in
they
this
get for
country.
Yes.
Homes in this country.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this
That's-
world, I don't even know what the stat is, but I guarantee you it's higher. Why the hell do we still have homelessness? There ain't no camera.
No camera, audio
dumbass.
only.
Dumbass. Hootie blazing in the house. But hold on, we're talking about solutions, man. Chime in with fucking
Nick just
relevant
mentioned
shit.
the epidemic of homelessness in this day and age.
You know, if you say some fucked up shit about homeless people, man, I swear to God, I'll hate you for life.
We have an unexpected
No.
guest, ladies and
You
gentlemen.
made fun of a homeless person, man. I swear to
You guys
God.
want to talk about
I'm
side
gonna ruin your
bitches?
life. No. What are you talking about?
I'll tell you a funny story last night. I was going to ask for your help last night. Listen.
Hold on. Who was this chick sitting outside your house last night? This is what I want
That's
to know.
my ex-girlfriend. She's crazy. Listen.
Hold on, is this the chick with the M? I ain't gonna say her name off on the ship, but with the
Yeah.
M. Oh my God, that's what I thought it was.
Gnarly,
Gnarly,
right? So
gnarly.
listen,
Oh,
You're
shit.
gonna laugh at this one, right? So she
I'm
came to
laughing
my house,
already.
right? She was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna come over." I was like, "No."
Oh
I had
shit.
Taylor at my house,
Oh
right?
shit, he's smashing.
So I got the side joint over. I was like, "Nah." She's getting ready, so I was like, "Fuck," right? Then she's like, I had to go pick her up. She was like, "I'll meet you at your house." I was like, "No." She goes to my house. She texts me. She's like, "I'm at your door, like in front of your door."
yeah.
Taylor in
She's
my house.
sitting at your
And there's
chair
no
right there.
way to get downstairs and
Nah,
out the door.
you gotta go through the fire escape. Did you do the fire escape?
Dude, I'm
Don't
like,
tell me you did the
dude,
fire
I swear to
escape.
God, yo, I was like, dude, we gotta go out the fire escape.
You did the fire escape.
Me and her are me and her are scaling the fire escape last night at like 10 o'clock. Just like step by step by step. Fucking she ran to her car. I went and did what I had to do. Came back like I was never here. Fucking.
I wasn't even sure.
That's
if
some
that
wild
was
shit
her.
right there, man.
Oh, that's crazy. All right, what's your thoughts on
I was gonna
homelessness,
call you
man?
yesterday.
Real,
to help
real
you.
quick, on that can tie into our solution show right here. The solution to avoid that problem.
The
First,
solution
you
to-
make
Well, if
sure
you're married, don't do that
when
because you
you
can
tell
end up
your girl,
homeless.
don't come over, she don't come over, or you
is-
don't have a side chick.
The moral of the story is the solution to crazy girls showing up to your house is fire escape. Fire escape, fire escape.
Yeah, get an apartment with a fire escape.
Fire
Make sure your house got a fire escape.
I
that's
sat
for
and
sure.
thought, what would I do if I didn't live on the second floor right now?
Yeah, that shit
We would
was
have to
crazy.
Jump a story out the building.
That shit was crazy.
Damn.
All right, you got anything you want to say about homelessness, man?
Homelessness.
Homelessness.
I think it's horrible. I think that it's a shame that most of the homeless people in America are mostly veterans that have served in key wars that
Yeah.
make us have our freedom.
Totally
today.
agree, man.
And the people that are homeless get shunned by the people who are, say, us. And
Home-
we walk by and treat them as shit, as if we are any better. But on the same note, these people have fought for our fucking freedom. Most of them. Not saying all homeless people, but most of them are homeless vets, and we look at them like shit when we're only free because of their duties. So
Part of that
I
is
think
people
homelessness-
always associate a homeless person with, oh, he's probably on drugs, he's probably
But
this or
in
that.
our
It ain't
area
like
where
that.
No, you're absolutely right, man. Because
mostly homelessness around where we're from, where we're at right now, is self-homelessness, meaning that these people did it on their own. Like, they have a loving family at home, a house to stay in, but they choose to do drugs, they choose to run the streets, and they usually end up in Tent City and Camden. So around here in New Jersey and Burlington County, that is...
Yo, did you ever see the Lakewood homeless place?
Shit's crazy,
Holy
dude.
shit,
And
70
it's a-
fucking
it's a
people,
shame.
dude.
I was almost destined for it.
70
your home life.
fucking people, bro.
If
What's
you
sad
go
is
down
when
to
they
Camden-
get rid of tent cities and they tear down tent
Crazy.
cities. That's not a
Yeah.
solution to homelessness. That's not a solution
No,
to the
that's
homelessness.
making it worse.
Tent City is not tearing the fucking thing down and saying, go find somewhere else to be. What the fuck is that?
Crazy, bro.
Well, how about there's so many vacant houses?
Nah, bro.
I mean,
I'm not taking it. I just need a
vacant houses that people have been evicted. But I have nothing on.
I think one of the solutions.
Remember the Bank of America thing? They gave out all these house loans that they knew people couldn't afford. They defaulted. They took the people's houses. There's like 80% of the houses in some areas have nobody living in them, and you have all these homeless people. There's your solution right there: low-income housing for the homeless, or free housing in some cases.
Exactly.
Well, they did that in New York. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie. It's the homeless movie about the kid, the subway people. They were living under Penn Station.
Oh, really?
And they put them all into public homes.
See, that's what we need to do.
But
That's your solution.
Well, hold on. What about the casinos in Atlantic City that sit empty? What about, you know what I'm saying? You see them
those
tear,
could be
they,
good.
you see them implode these giant buildings because there's no longer a profit in the building.
They're knocking down
well,
all
you
the-
know what? What about the moral profit of helping out your fellow human being? It's like, well, no, we need to. That's commercial space that needs to be wiped. Who's going to pay those property taxes?
You know they're
No,
not.
that's
They're knocking
stupid
down
fucking
all the buildings in Camden, right?
Huh?
You know they're knocking down all the
the dilapidated buildings.
So what they need to do
is gentrification.
What
I
they need
guarantee
to-
you, in 5 to 10 years, Camden's going to be all of a sudden young urban yuppies or whatever, all that shit.
Yeah, what they need to fucking do, and they need to take them, the ones that can be salvaged, and give it to the homeless.
Yes.
That's number one. They need to give
And
it
they
to the
won't.
homeless.
And it would
They
be
won't
nice to
because
see
there's
a
no
like
profit for
well,
them.
nice
That's
to
why they
see
won't
like
do
a nice lawyer go in there and help people claim eminent domain and like get homeless people. But then again, the people put themselves on these different levels where it's like I can't deal with a homeless person. You know, what I'm
Listen.
saying? Like I can't. Like,
That's what we need. That's right there. You know what? He just put an idea in my head for. That's the solution that could actually work in this society. If someone just goes and teaches these people about things like eminent domain, squatters' rights.
See, everybody
things of
talks
that
about it, but
nature.
everybody's afraid to actually work with these people. You're not afraid to go down and give them $1. You're not afraid to come up and give them a sandwich or something. But when you talk about, like, hey, why don't you come over to my house, all right? There's this homeless chick in Delran, all right? She walked around Delran. She's
know who you're
literally
talking about.
kind of crazy,
Yeah,
all right?
the crazy lady. I know
She's
who you're
literally
talking about.
kind of crazy, all
Yeah,
right? But she walks around Delran, and me and my girlfriend got to talking about for like a half an hour the other night. You know what? And I'm talking about, like, how I got into an argument with the guy at 7-Eleven because he was saying, well, she did it to herself. She's not allowed in the store because she bothers customers, and it bothers customers that she's in here. And I'm like, dude, it's like 5 degrees outside, and you're talking about she's standing outside your store, and you can't let her in your store because it bothers the customers. Like, where's your fucking humanity? I was like getting into it, and she's like, all right. And my girlfriend stopped me and said, then let's go back and ask her if she wants to stay at our house. If she wants to stay
shit.
the night. And I'm like, all right, well, you know what? Yeah, it kind of sucks for her, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? See, that's the fucking holdup. That's the problem with homelessness is until we can get past that, I'm scared to help somebody because they may take advantage of me. I'm scared to help somebody because they may pee on my couch. I'm scared to help somebody because they may eat all the food in my fridge and be gone by the morning. You know what I'm saying? I'm scared to help somebody because of my fear. Because of my fear. Instead of I want to help this person because of my love for this human being. You know what I'm saying?
Homophobia.
That's
New word created on Free Ending today, ladies and
Homophobia.
gentlemen. Homophobia.
Homophobia, damn straight. So it's like, but the homelessness is a problem. Brian's right.
Well, you know, like
individually, we have to go. Like we always donate to these charities that help the homeless. But what about the homeless that aren't mentally able to bring
Well, here's the
themselves
thing.
to help?
Here's the thing.
And people aren't
As he
coming
said,
to help
he said
them.
it-
Then there's no
what was
help for
your
them.
Hootie. As Hootie said, half of the homeless are vets.
I don't want to be with you.
Right?
That's what he said too.
The majority of the other half is teens.
Yeah,
There's a lot of teen homelessness.
They to themselves. They leave their homes because their family.
And see, the
doesn't
teens
appreciate
aren't just
lifestyle.
sitting on the street. The teens aren't just like laying on the street like, oh yeah, here, give me some change. The teens are out trying to make a life for themselves and trying to at least not. I don't want to say make a life for themselves like actually not be homeless. I'm saying they're trying to get a cheeseburger, trying to get themselves a dime bag or a beer or some shit like that. That's what also aggravates me is how people are like, yo, homeless people, don't give them them any money because they're just going to use it to go get drunk or they're just going to use it to go get high. Well, if you were in their position and you didn't really see much fucking of an outlook or much of a future for yourself, wouldn't part of you might want to get drunk or get high? I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that's the way out of it for them, but maybe they feel like there is no way out. And there's nobody around them saying, hey, listen, here's the way out. Their way out is drugs until they die. Their way out is to literally kill themselves with drugs. You don't ever think that some of those people are trying to kill themselves? They're trying to enjoy themselves on the drugs until one day they die. Until one day they don't wake up. And, they say, you know what? It's better that I don't wake up. It's better that I don't wake up anymore because what kind of life is this?
Well, you know what? I don't think that's necessarily the full case for all.
I'm not saying
listen.
I'm saying for some people it's gotta be the
when
case.
I was homeless, the reason why I was homeless is because I had nobody gave a fuck about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not the schools, not the teacher. I was homeless for 6 years.
Yeah.
So it was
for 3 months.
Yeah, I was homeless for 6 years. So it was one of those things where it was like, the schools didn't care about me, teachers, parents, the community, nobody cared. So it wasn't necessarily a drug thing. It was just that if you have people that care for other people, starting in the schools, there would be less teens going out doing drugs,
Well, also in the community, not just the schools, in the community.
Yeah, exactly, in the community. If everybody in the community
itself,
just cared.
we live in a town called Riverside right here, right? I remember Riverside, even when I was a little kid, was much more of a community. Now it's like people are, and it has to do with technology. I know it has to do with technology. I want to stay inside. And I want to play my video games. I want to watch my TV. I want to watch my movies, my TV shows. I want to watch all that shit. I got my phone. I got to look at. Nobody's outside like, hey, Mary, how you doing? Oh yeah, how's the kids doing? Oh my God, she got an F. Ooh, she's in trouble now, isn't she? Nobody's outside talking and interacting with each other anymore. Nobody gives a fuck about community anymore. Your community is your friends list on Facebook, and not the people that live around you. So when one of the people that live around you is really struggling, unless they're, that's a town hero, or they just got back from war and this and that, and that's what also aggravates me is how some people, a town and a community will rally to help somebody who just came back from war and help them, whether they were injured or not, help them get back on their feet. And other towns, depending on what town that person came from, another town they'll go back and nobody even knows their name and gives two shits if that person is having trouble getting on their feet after coming back from war. That's what's fucked up as well. Yeah. Sorry. But what's the solution? I'm sitting here talking about the problem. What's the real solution?
We presented like 3 different solutions.
Yeah, no.
We all talk about the solution.
People need to take the initiative to do them.
Yeah. Well, also in the semi-socialist society that we live in, like that semi-socialist society. It sounds like a rap.
Democratic socialism.
Well, in the society that we live in, hold on. We don't have the resources. Are we not one of the richest, most powerful countries in the world? We don't have the resources to even build little shacks like those tent cities instead of letting them sleep in their tents and it's 5 degrees outside. Oh, it's chilly for you.
Okay,
kind of sucks to be you. We'll do door checks and come by and kick your tent and see if you're alive.
There's the problem.
We can't build these people little tents with fucking heat and hot water.
Here's the solution to that problem.
And air conditioning.
The defense budget for this year, they want an extra $72 billion for national defense. What the fuck do you need that for? You have drones and MRAPs and ELF weapons, and why the fuck do you need another $72 billion for defense?
We could just take half of that, right, and feed every homeless person for a year, put a roof over their head, and have them driving a Nissan Maxima. Okay? That's what we could do with that fucking defense shit. Exactly. Cut it in half. We don't have to take all of it. Cut it in half, and we can literally solve our homeless problem overnight. But then you know what happens? These people that are working at McDonald's for the last 10 years, and they've been struggling to get by. What the fuck? You're going to take... I should have just went homeless. I've been struggling. I've been really working hard. And it's like, that's where we have another problem. But you know what? That's where people got to get over their egos, and we got to be willing to allow others to receive help in this society and know that that's only promoting if you're ever down in the dumps. Well, that's promoting that you might also get help as well. And it's not really socialist. Socialist is when the government steps in and does all this for you. Yeah, and if the government's spending billions and trillions of dollars on killing innocent people across the world, then yeah, maybe it's okay for us to ask to take that money. But we also got to ask our community to step up and to have more of a sense of community.
Yeah, we need to have more of a sense of community.
Without a sense of community, it's easy for you to walk past a homeless guy and be like, tough shit, did it to himself. When you have a sense of community and you walk past that homeless guy, you're like, friend, what troubles you?
Nobody gives a fuck about nobody else, man. And that's just plain and simple. I think that's another big problem that we have.
Gentrification adds to it.
Well, part of the problem, there's a reason for it, too, because you also get these people that are out on the street. Like, you see them in Philadelphia all the time. I'll see people come up. Oh, I'm a homeless vet. I need help, and I'll actually stop and think.
Yeah,
I'll
man,
be thinking
them
myself,
fucking guys,
do I want to
man.
give this guy money? Is this guy really
Yo, do you know
a
that
homeless vet?
Those dudes will
Yo,
send you
listen,
over a
listen,
fucking.
listen. When I
Is
used
this
to
a
some
mental
dude in a
workout.
$1,200
Exactly, like, is this guy
apartment
mentally
dressing like
fucked
a
up?
homeless vet?
Yo, when I used to fight MMA, man,
trying to fucking use me.
I had a fight in Atlantic City.
Uh-huh.
This was in Philly, at the Electric Factory. So this dude comes out. He's like, yo, Bobby, can you help me out? Because, he's Puerto Rican. He's like, yo, Bobby, can you please help me out, man? You think you can spare me a couple dollars? I felt bad for him. 'cause
Before you go on,
hold on.
what was your first instinct, your first thought? As soon as he started, before he even got it out, like his first few words,
I thought
what was your instinct? Do I want to help this guy or I don't want to
No,
help
I
this
wanted
guy?
to help him.
Exactly.
I wanted to
First
help him.
instinct is
And I wanted to
always,
help him.
I
Why?
wanna
Because
this
I was homeless. So I was like, yo, man,
Yeah.
you know what? Let me help this guy
Exactly.
out, man. So I gave him $20. Boom. Run around the corner. Me
you
and my
are generous.
coach. Listen. Yeah, I gave him $20. Yeah, boom, here, take
I
that
like
$20.
it. I like it.
I had a fight coming up, so I was like, fuck it.
More people could be
Gave him
like
20.
Rich.
We went to the me and my coach in office. We went to the bodega around the corner. Let me tell you how I got out of the fucking car.
Oh no.
My man took off his entire homeless gear
Oh,
and was standing there with mad money in his pocket because
Yeah.
he pulled out a what? Bow.
Yeah.
Robbed me. He robbed me.
Yep.
Yo,
Yep.
he robbed me.
Yeah.
He robbed me straight up.
Yeah.
There's people that make
So
their
that's
entire
it's
living
people like
doing
that make you not want to give homeless people money.
Really panhandle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
$300 in like 4 hours.
In Washington,
It's like
D.C.,
a
this is a
job, yo.
report
People
from
make more
10
money
years ago.
panhandling than they do fucking
Yeah.
working.
Now, there's a report from 10 years ago that in
Across the
Washington,
fucking
D.C.,
Ben Franklin, you see all the
Oh,
niggas
yeah,
sitting
man.
there on fucking 6th Street. Go fucking
They know what the
look,
fuck they're doing.
in
man.
Washington, D.C., the fucking average salary for a panhandler, this is a report from 10 years ago, I'm
They
sure it's
make
gone up,
bread, yo.
was $60,000 a year. Was
What?
the average salary for a panhandler.
Damn, that's
that
more than
averaged
I
out
make,
to like
eh?
$400 a day or $300 a day or something. Yeah, they're killing it. They're fucking killing it. And that's 5 days a week. They get to go home. They literally walk like, no. 5 days a week, and they're driving a fucking Mercedes. They're walking
Oh,
8
yeah,
blocks
yeah.
away
No.
to the fucking pay-in park and getting in their fucking
Okay.
Mercedes.
True story.
And
True
nobody
story.
knows nobody knows they're homeless. They come back
Me?
next morning. Oh, let me get my
Nick,
shit. They
you
just
know
gotta
what?
act there and
It's
relax.
not just DC. Look at Philly.
Oh, yeah, it's everywhere.
Me and
I'm just
Mike
talking
went
about
to
DC is the one I heard.
the NoFX concert back in August. There's this dude out there. He's like wearing like dirty,
Yeah,
raggy
man.
clothes. He's selling pretzels and shit. Pretzels and bottled water. Hey man, yeah, I'm selling them cheap, trying to make a buck. You know, I got to get by. As soon as the show was over, he packs up and rolls his little cart away, and he comes driving up and waves at everybody in this brand new fucking BMW. Like, see you next
I'm
show.
honestly, just being a person who thinks smart and not with my heart all the time, I'll be honest with you, especially when I was a little bit younger, I've thought about doing it. When I heard that report, I was like, holy fuck, I'm thinking about going to Washington, D.C. with some ripped up,
Yep.
tattered up
Well, check
clothes.
this out. They just did a.
Panhandle.
I forget who it was. I think it was 60 minutes or something like that. 60 minutes. They just did a thing where they followed this dude. He was panhandling. Mm-hmm. He went home. This was in Chicago.
He didn't know he was being
This
followed,
was in Chicago.
right? He didn't know he was being followed.
He didn't know he was being followed. So he was in
And then they,
downtown.
like, knocked on his door or
He was in
some shit,
downtown
right?
Chicago. They caught his ass going into a nice ass suburban house with a nice ass car.
With his like 60-inch television screen and like all the fucking cable channels, all the movie channels and shit.
Tax-free under the table, by the way.
It's like,
Tax-free.
that's what irks you, and it's like, yo, those are the types of motherfuckers. It's like, until we can start rooting out those types of motherfuckers.
But how
'cause-
do you? How can you? Unless you sit there. If someone asks you for change, you're going to follow them for a week to make sure they deserve it?
But those are the type of motherfuckers that keep us from saying, we see shit like that, and all of a sudden we see a homeless guy the next day, and we're like, that motherfucker could be fucking riding a caddy.
Yeah,
And that
yeah,
motherfucker's pissing his pants and fucking sleeping under
Yeah,
a fucking
man. It's an act. It's a fucking
overpass.
act, yeah.
You know? No, but I'm saying the motherfucker could actually be pissing his pants and sleeping under an overpass and actually be homeless, but we're looking at him like, he's got his caddy 3 blocks away, this
Yeah.
motherfucker. And it's like, he's really struggling, and people are like, fuck him, he's not really struggling. It's like, that also adds to the mentality of, don't need to help, not our problem. Like, we come more and more distant
Yeah.
from our own human brethren. You know what I'm saying? Something fucked up
I
with
like
that.
to give the one-legged people money.
Yeah, I like to give anybody I see.
Yeah, anyone who's an amputee, I try to help.
Isn't that fucked up though?
It is.
So hold on. What about the guy who's sitting there and he ain't got no physical ailments? What about the dude that's got no physical ailments? He's sitting across the street from the guy that's got no one leg, right? And he knows that guy's a real dickhead. And every time that he drinks with him, the guy smacks him around and punches him and thinks that he's real tough and this and that, right? The guy who's got no leg. And all of a sudden, this guy's sitting there watching the guy across the street with no leg getting fucking money all day while he's sitting there with his cup like, could I get some help? And he's a kind, polite guy who doesn't really want to speak up and say much, right? And he gets like a quarter of what that guy's getting. And it's like, that dude's a dickhead. And he's just
Well, what's the
because
solution to that problem? What do we do? Like, as a society, what do we do?
education on the ins and outs and the society and the culture of homeless people. People like to think that's below us, and I'm not even interested in that whatsoever. They're just a bunch of vagrants, drug addicts, and this and that. You know how many smart, intellectual, and very and morally good homeless people there are? There needs to be
Tons.
much. There needs to be almost not mandatory,
Cinnamon,
but as far as a society, as far as our society goes,
one of my best
we
friends
should
that I was homeless
encourage.
15
Everybody
years
should
ago.
encourage each other to
Over
outreach to the
15
homeless.
years ago now, there was this homeless dude in Cinnaminson, and everybody in the town was just like that. Oh, we don't want him coming in our store because he's going to steal. We don't want to help this guy. He was living in the friggin'
that.
park, and I'm talking to this guy. He was talking about the kind of stuff we have today, our like LED technology. He was in his free time. He had nothing else to do because he's homeless. He'd go to the library and research that.
One
shit.
of
He's one of
my
the smartest guys I ever
Yeah,
met.
one of my best friends who I was actually homeless with. We used to, sleep in abandoned buildings and under bridges and shit together.
Yeah.
He legit. This guy is one of the smartest people I have ever come
They know
across
their
in my
shit.
entire
Talking
life.
about my boogie or my what do you
This
call it?
this
my Louis, right? You want to
I
tip
said
your
a drawing
nose?
stuck in my nose.
You got a joint stuck in my nose.
this dude was able to build a fucking
I'm not
computer,
crying, I'm tearing
and
up.
and
Got something in
and
my eye.
he was able to make simulations in his own computer. It was just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's that intelligent.
Well,
Big shout out
it's
to
really
my man,
sad.
Will.
I
What's up,
feel
bro?
about myself that same way sometimes. Is I'm not financially smart as I am in other ways, and that could doom me to one day be homeless and be smart enough to do something in this world, but since I wasn't financially smart enough, I'm doomed to have nobody really care about me and think that, well, you know what, he did it to himself and this and that. It's like, what about the people that mentally can't actually do it? You know what I'm saying? So, all right.
That was a good one.
All right, you ready? This is the next biggest one. It's not the biggest one to me, but it's definitely the biggest one in the world. Education should be free.
Get
damn
Bernie
socialist.
Sanders.
Yeah,
Get outta
education
here.
should be fucking free, man.
Education
You
should
know
be
what?
free, but the
Education should be
education
free.
system
That's
needs to be
one thing.
it needs to be
These
fixed.
people in
Yeah.
debt.
But it needs to be
That's one
fixed.
thing I like about what Bernie Sanders is saying. I'm against socialism and communism. You know that. I grew up in the 80s. But
I agree
but
with free
what he
education.
says about...
Just not our education.
Now, he made a statement on a debate like a week or two ago
With
that
Hillary?
stuck
Our
with
kids
me,
are dumbasses.
probably. He said something along the lines of, back in the 50s, we gave everyone free education through high school, but
sit down,
today, what a college degree is today is what a high school diploma was back then,
Yes,
50 years
yes,
ago.
yeah.
So it makes sense that
we-
we should give them free college at this point, and that kind of stuck in my head like, yeah, he's right.
Yeah, we should.
we
get
should,
free
but the
college.
education system is a broken arrow. You know
Yeah,
what
but
I'm
the thing
saying?
is like this. You look at it like this.
Who
Look at it
started
like this. If
who
you
started
give-
the National Education Association?
But look at it like this.
Who
If
started
you
the National
give-
Education
I don't-
Association? Brian, you know who started National Education. Just take a wild guess in the
Democrats?
stab in the dark. No. As far
United
as
Nations.
people who started things in this country, who created things in this country, a person who created
John Rockefeller.
Thank you. Started the National Education Association. And you know what? His intentions may have been well, but the thing is corrupt from the get-go.
It's an
Teachers asking for more
indoctrination
money,
system, yeah.
and the more money leads to worse grades. And then they say, well, if you want us to fix it, we need more money. Okay, well, we're not going to keep paying you more when the shit's not working. And they're like,
it's
oh, well,
getting
but
worse,
it's the
yeah.
curriculum. We got Common Core. Common Core is a disaster. No, the whole education system is a disaster. The fact that we can't talk about quantum physics, and the fact that we can't talk about philosophy, and the fact that there's certain things that we can't talk about. We don't get taught about, what do you call it? The Gulf of Tonkin incident. We don't get taught about anything important. We get taught why are we taught so much about the Egyptian pyramids? Why are we taught so much about the Egyptian pyramids? Of the grand scope of knowledge and information out there. What is the Egyptian pyramids? I'd much rather be taught about the Sumerians. If you're going to tell me the beginning
Hell
of our
yeah.
culture,
Oh,
if you're
man,
going to start
yeah,
getting into
man.
the beginning of our culture, I'd rather, oh, no, wait, we have all this mythology and stories we've created about the Egyptians, so we'd much rather you listen to that bullshit.
I think they
no,
talk
it's
more
all
about the Egyptians.
bullshit.
I think they talk about the Egyptians more because it's kind of, You know, it's kind of something that everybody already knows.
It's just
you know
part
what I
of the
mean?
bullshit system,
Yeah.
and they've been slowly just dumbing us down more and more and more and more and more until all we want to do is fucking watch football, drink beer, fucking go to bed, get up, go to our
Exactly.
fucking labor job, come back home, fucking beat our wife,
Yup.
watch football, go to bed,
right.
fucking drink
Beat your
another
wife,
beer,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? In no particular order, all that shit. That's what they want everybody to get down to. The intellectuals, you can get the fuck out. That's how that I really am starting to feel that way, is if you're an intellectual, unless you're trying to be an intellectual on Fox News or on CNBC, or you're trying to write a book that's pro-Democrat, pro-Republican, or pro some issue that either Democrats or Republicans love to tout, well, then you can get the fuck out, because we don't want your intellectual type here. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? That's what. If you send American students to other countries, they test lower than the
Yes.
students of those countries. Than the average test scores of those countries, our American students test lower. Why is that? Because they're dumbing the kids down.
We're
It's
in
like,
the
hold on, what
bottom.
happened to
That's all it says.
cursive?
We're in the
They're not.
bottom.
No,
We don't even want to teach
hold
our
on,
kids
hold on.
cursive
They're not
anymore.
they're not
We used to
necessarily.
teach our kids calligraphy.
They're
We
not
don't even teach them
necessarily. They're not
cursive
necessarily
anymore.
dumbing us down. They're just having shittier fucking teachers. They're having teachers that don't get paid enough money, and they're just not caring no more.
But are those
You know what I mean?
teachers not getting paid enough money? And you tell that to 85% of the teachers out. Some of those teachers probably agree with you 100% through and through.
I
But
know a teacher that
85% of
makes-
those teachers are going to be like,
I know a teacher that
fuck
makes good
you.
money.
I care. Regardless if I'm making $30,000 a year or I'm making $50,000 a year.
That's why
I
they
care about
become a
these kids. I care. I'm actually starting to become interested in becoming a teacher so that with all the information and knowledge, I can squeak out little bits here and there, and these kids will get little
but how
nuggets
about-
of knowledge that
how
they
about
would
like
have
this?
never gotten from
How about
any
like
other
this? You
teacher in the
look,
world.
A lot of the teachers, you gotta look at it this way too. A lot of teachers are in it to make a buck.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're doing that, why look,
And you know
they
which
go
ones?
into they go to a
They end up
shitty they go to a
miserable.
shitty school system.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yo, I'm just there just to make a fucking dollar. I don't
Yeah.
care about this anyway.
You know,
what I'm
how
saying?
much the average teacher makes? A lot of kids I actually graduated in my class, my graduating class that I graduated with. Like I think 10 of them are teachers now, and I ran into them all at a party. Like at least
mine, too.
7 or 8 of them at a party, and none of them make really good money. But the ones that got into it for money are miserable. The ones that got into it because they have a passion for teaching kids are happier than they could ever be and feel like they've found their calling. And it's like, holy shit, when they get into it for money, they're miserable. And I'm sure there are school districts that you go to and you can make good money. But if you're in it for the money, you're not really like there's and that's also part of the issue is teachers. And those are the teachers that are like, we're not making enough money. Well, we're not making enough money. Or if somebody's like, yo, what do you call it? Why are the grades down? Why are grades going down? Well, we're not making enough money because they don't know where else to look. What, they're going to point at the curriculum? They're going to say, well, how come this curriculum is working for these people, this school over
And I think
here?
that's another big
You know
problem
what I'm
with
saying?
the educational system is the curriculum that we're actually being taught.
The curriculum needs to be wiped out.
Yeah, it
Then
needs
we
to
can
be-
give
it needs
free
to be-
education.
It needs to be
in
fixed.
so many different fields. You know what I'm saying?
History needs to start. Real history needs to start being applied in it. Like
Okay.
everything from like the stuff that's being covered up. Like a lot of the most influential black people that have been within our country from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be spoken about. Different classes of people, a variety of things need to be spoken about more. They're taking I noticed about the education system. They like taking in, putting in.
Well, what's
switching up.
Columbus Day? Hold on, why are they even teaching us Columbus Day bullshit anymore when that's already been proven?
Exactly. Yeah, it's wrong.
Revisionist
It's
history.
wrong.
They don't teach us revisionist history until they start teaching
they
revisionist
still to this
history.
day teach that Christopher Columbus discovered America when it's like widely accepted knowledge now in 90% of the other countries around the world that he had a fucking map of the East Coast before he even left Spain.
Because you know what? Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492 is much better than America Vespucci or whatever. He discovered America in this year and discovered Indians and yada yada. And like, no. It sounds much better to give the kids a little rhyme and let them remember the lie and just go on for the rest of their lives. Like, no, I don't think so. Christopher Columbus
Not only
discovered
that, but
the
you
ocean
know,
blue,
you know.
1492.
They won't ever say like the Vikings were here first.
Yep.
They never talk about that.
But they do actually teach us. I do remember them teaching us a little bit about Native American
A
culture.
little, but
You know?
tip of the iceberg. not
Yeah,
even.
we got.
Oh, they didn't
we got
teach us
taught very little.
how
They didn't-
they didn't
how
teach
fucked
us
up
about the
we
genocide.
saw. Yeah,
They
they
didn't teach us about the genocide. That's
They
for
was
sure.
no, we're not gonna talk about
That
all
was
that.
pretty innocent. That was like almost like a
Thanksgiving
cartoon,
was our perfect
you know?
day.
Right.
If they taught us about genocide, they taught us about genocide the same way that Sesame Street would teach kids about genocide, which is not at all. You know?
Exactly.
It's, oh no, we were nice to them, and we even gave them reservations to live on.
I really like the way this show's going. I think that we're hitting our our crescendo as far as time goes.
Got about 15 minutes left. I'll stay till about 2:15.
But what I would like to suggest from this point forward is every
What you got work?
No, I gotta pick up my.
It's Valentine's Day.
every 10 episodes from here on out. So 52 will be the next one. We're going to do a solution show.
A solution show.
The solution sods. We're going to call them the solution sods. All right.
Solution sloads.
Solution sods, like episode, but solution sod. All right. Or you can call it the solution
That's
monologue.
the second new
That's
word
pretty good.
created.
Solution sods or solution
Damn,
monologues.
we're
Think
innovating.
about
We
it.
got two
Think
new words
about
in
it.
one
Damn,
day.
we got
God
solution sods and
All right.
homophobia.
So I kind of, even though they were pretty obvious ones, I came out with the first three. What do you call it?
Well, here you go.
Major issues.
I did the first one.
Actually, if Rich
I
has,
did the first
if Rich has another 10 to 15 minutes, he says.
Yeah, I got another 10.
Here's one for you. How many people in the world today are refusing to even get involved in the political process of choosing our leaders because they've been convinced their vote counts for nothing?
It don't.
It don't,
Yeah.
man.
How do we fix that?
Listen.
But we don't
Look
fix
at.
that.
All right, for
we
instance,
don't.
That is a big problem.
listen.
that needs a solution.
Look at Donald Trump right now. Why is he in the lead?
Is he saying the things no one
No,
else was saying?
he's fucking
appealing
buying.
to the
He's
more-
buying his way into this place, which means votes don't matter.
No. Do you know what he's doing?
It don't matter.
That motherfucker is trolling Facebook. He's got a what do you call it? He's got a team of about literally maybe 100 to 200 people that troll Southern Facebook, are trolling the southern half of the United States, and everything that he sees trending for those people, he comes out and says, you know what? This is what's wrong with our country. And he literally is able to get almost half of the country stirred up, half of the Republican part of the south of the country stirred up like, oh my God, he's speaking truth. I ain't never heard a candidate say nothing like that. Because when I hear him say some shit like that, I literally hear an angry old dude in the south spewing off on Facebook about what he thinks is wrong and what pisses him off about
you're
this country.
saying you don't
I'm not
think-
saying he's always
Well,
wrong.
all right, so
You
then
don't
what's,
think
what
we
is
should build a 50-foot wall around the border, Nick?
There's people that believe it.
So what is the solution to that problem? How do we get people to want to?
Is to completely, and Brian would, I think, disagree with me. And you, everybody might disagree with
It
me.
depends.
But
Let's
is
see what
to
he said.
start treating the political system as the joke that it is, and in the direction that it's going. And everybody's going to say, well, that's what's going on right now. No. Trump is not coming in and saying this is all a joke. This is all right, everybody. Here's and he's borderline when he says we should ban all Muslims. He's borderline on it. Okay, but I'm talking about we need to literally vote somebody like Vermin Supreme
Same shit.
president.
Same shit.
Right there. What?
1941.
What Hootie just said.
Office, and he's going to do the same.
What Hootie just said.
Yeah.
What?
Trump is going to do the same thing we did in 1941.
Same thing.
What are you guys
Same thing,
talking
bro.
about?
What did we do?
What did we do in
What
1941,
did we
bro?
do back then? What did we do that you don't learn about in school very often?
And that had a really big impact in the 60s.
What did we do?
Well, one thing we did was round up all the Asians and put them in concentration camps.
Did we really do that in 1941?
Yeah, man. The
It might
Japanese.
not have been
Gosh, I knew we
41,
did
but
that.
it was
I
in
didn't-
that
I-
era.
You didn't
It was
know
the
that?
World War II era.
Yeah, but World War II was in 1942,
And then it
D-Day,
continued
1942.
through, Korea and Vietnam. They were still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I
And
think we
there's
even did it
camps
with the
up- There's
Irish.
camps up and open today.
I
that
think we
Hillary
even
calls
enslaved the
happy
Irish. I'm
camps.
pretty sure. I just saw something on Facebook, and it could be complete bullshit, or it could be with another country. But I'm pretty sure I saw something about the enslavement of the Irish, the untold.
Yeah. No, that.
enslavement
Yeah. I read
of the
about
Irish.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
I read about that. Yeah.
We've actually enslaved many people, and I don't believe that's going to happen.
See, here,
I don't
all right.
believe that's
Let's,
gonna happen.
let's go on to a new topic.
Trump's going to turn
Let's
this
go on to
into
new
a
topic. Hold on.
beer-drinking, football-loving country
I wanted to
through
go on.
and through.
Let's go on to a new topic. Racism.
Yes, thank you. That's what I wanted to get to. That's really what I wanted to get to. Hold on, hold on.
To me is to me it's fucking retarded.
Episode 52 is our Politico solution
Oh, shit.
okay?
Oh,
because
shit.
that one that we just touched on, we didn't
you know-
come up with a solution to. We're not going to because
No,
it's so
but
detailed, and
I'm
we need
gonna
to get
point
into
out-
racism. So
I don't
52.
I don't necessarily have a solution for racism, but I will point out a major part of what's causing the problem to escalate. You get situations like I know you didn't watch it. Did you watch this year's Super Bowl?
No.
Okay.
I just
Well,
seen that.
here's-
I just seen
okay.
the
I
performance.
smoked the Super Bowl.
To anyone that did not see the Super Bowl, here's what I noticed after the Super Bowl. You have all these people up in arms, because at the beginning, the military color guards there with all their different flags, and somebody's holding up a Confederate flag. Everyone after the Super Bowl is talking about the Confederate flag. Oh, why'd they allow the Confederate flag? Why did Beyonce go out there and do a Malcolm X Black Power Black Panthers halftime performance?
Oh, so we are on racism.
Fucking
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're on racism.
The problem
No.
is, when people talk racism, it's always one-sided. You have to take away that one-sided paradigm and recognize that it goes both ways before you can eliminate it.
This is the way I see it. Look, listen. As a mixed man in America, I am a mixed man. I am German descent, African American, Hispanic, and Native American. As a mixed man of this nation, the biggest problem I have and what I see is that people blame other people for their problem.
Yep.
They don't blame them. They don't take responsibility for their own actions and their own problems. You know what I mean? And I find it very rude and wrong that part of my people blame other people for their situation that they're in now. Honestly, if it was up to certain communities,
So
they
you're
would
saying people projecting
projecting
their own
something,
beliefs
their own
onto
beliefs.
other people.
People need to start taking responsibility. If your neighborhood is fucked up, like my neighborhood was fucked up, fix it. Take all your drug dealers, you make enough money together. Fix it. You can fix your own neighborhood. You can fix your own problems. If it's that bad, you can fix it. You can get your own police. You can get your own. Yeah.
There ain't no one race that does it. It's humanity.
But that's
Humanity.
But see, and this
We
is
take
what,
the easy way out.
but the Jews. This is why everybody hates the Jews in like New York and all that. Why? Because they stick together. And it's not that they. It's not, and what they mean by stick together is that they leave their generations of kids. They leave them money. They don't splurge and just have tons of money.
I've always said this, that the Jews, after World War II, after everything with Hitler, right, they all banded together and got together like, yo, we were just treated like royal shit. If we're going to make sure that this doesn't happen to us as a people again, we need to get our shit together and start being smart and looking out for one another, okay?
And
So
that's
if you
just-
see that this guy's Jewish and you've never heard of him before, but he's obviously Jewish and he's coming in, and he's coming in and he's got the curly hair and you know for a fact he's got the Jewish last name, he's Jewish through and through, help him out and give the man a job.
Yeah.
You know, they like look out for each other
And that's what
through and through,
and
you
that's
know
what-
what I'm
that's
saying?
what communities
But they're
need
also
to
like,
do.
yo, let's be smart about money and let's gather up all this money. So if they try and do it again, we can at least buy ourselves a country and all go there and protect
But see,
ourselves.
that's,
You know
see, but
I'm
that's
saying?
what
'Cause they're
communities
smart as
need to
fuck
do.
with money.
That's what communities need to do. If you
that's
really,
racist as well.
if you really
That's
care,
perpetuating the
if you really cared about your community, if you really cared about each other, then you would help your own community instead of doing 1 week here, 1 week there of action, like positive awareness. You would. Not a weekly, but a daily thing. You will all get together and you will eat as a community. You will make sure that your homeless are fed. You make sure that your homeless are clothed. You will give them a place to stay. And that's just something that I see as a mixed man, because honestly, I'm getting tired of seeing black people. And I don't mean to sound racist or rude, but because I am black, I'm African American. I don't like to see blacks blaming white people for their downfall. White imperialism is real. Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
To an extent, yes.
Yes. White imperialism is real.
Right.
The system is fucked up. It's real.
Right.
But at the same time, that doesn't give you the right to just sit there and point fingers. Because, for instance, my wife is from Italian, Irish, and German descent. And Greek descent. Her family weren't even from here. They have nothing to do with what happened in the 1800s. So I think it's fucked up that people point their fingers at at her, like, oh, you're white, you're privileged. And I know tons of poor white people, tons of poor white people.
Right here.
Yeah, the two guys that are sitting in front of me right now, tons of they're poor white men. And they live in the gutter, and nobody helps them. They're not privileged. And I feel as though it's fucked up when people say white people are privileged in this country, because they're not.
But they, in a sense, they
have a semi upper hand.
There you go. That's
A semi-upper
perfect way
hand?
to put it. They have an upper hand almost by
To a
default.
degree.
But it's almost like instead of focusing on, well, how do we kind of even out that upper hand? It's almost like wealth redistribution because it's only right. You know what I'm saying? We've come to a point where we realize one race is not better than another race, so let's kind of equal this shit out and all be on the same level. You know what I'm saying? And then, but see, if we're really going to make everything on the same level, then you'll have people who are, and this is where those people got to understand that when they're coming across a little bit racist themselves, you'll have white people saying, yeah, okay, well, and I've heard this literally over the past couple months. I've heard it over and over and over again. I'm tired of fucking hearing it, but it is somewhat the truth of, okay, well, if they're allowed to have the BET awards, then how come we can't have the white awards? And if they're allowed to have Black Power, or not Black Power, sorry, Black Pride and Latin Pride and this and that, how come we can't have white pride? And if you have white pride, well, then you're just a Nazi. You must be with the
Racist,
KKK.
yeah.
You're extremely racist. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, even saying that is coming from somewhat of a racist tone. Or when I hear people say it, there's somewhat of a racist tone in there. But if you dig through that racist tone, there's actually a little bit of truth there. You know what I'm
there's
saying?
truth, but I think all of that needs to be just all that BET awards.
But you can't disband that.
Yeah.
But you can't.
It just needs to be
disband that.
squashed.
But people are allowed to have their
Well, here's what
identity.
kills me.
We're Americans.
We need to forgive.
I'm gonna throw this out there.
What?
The BET Awards, Black Entertainment Awards, Black Entertainment Television, all black, right? This year's Oscars got so much backlash
That's why
for no
I've been hearing
black.
it.
That was. But see,
why
look,
I've
this is
been
the
hearing
thing.
You have your own show and channel.
But look, listen. The solution
But that
to
doesn't mean that
the
some
solution
people
to that.
should be excluded or excluded
Well,
from
then why not put
one
white
awards.
people on the, BET Awards?
But listen,
Because
the
it's called
solution.
the Black Entertainment Awards.
Okay,
the
then.
Grammys
You're
isn't called the White
perpetuating the
Grammy
fucking
Awards.
problem.
To me, the solution to all this is to not have no specific awards.
Yeah.
We're Americans.
Well, or people should be allowed to appreciate their culture without
Yeah,
feeling any
yeah.
kind of race
Yeah, exactly.
tied to it. Or any kind of
You can be
race.
prideful, and,
Yes,
you know you
tied
can
to
you
it.
can love to be black and have and of course it's a beautiful. Black people are beautiful, they're strong, but at the same time, and it's the same thing with white people. They're beautiful, strong people, and it goes across the board. But we're Americans.
Well, when can we come down to human pride?
We're Americans.
When can we come down to human pride?
Yeah, we're
You know what I'm saying?
humans.
Yeah.
We're all humans.
But it's like this, bro. In America, we have to just talk about America right now because in those other countries, a lot of countries, UK, things like that, there's a little bit of racism here and there, but it's not as bad as prevalent as here.
Yeah,
And it's usually
North
against-
Africa, the racism
yeah.
is probably 10 times worse than
Yeah.
it is here.
Well, no, South Africa is a lot worse.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, South
Anyway,
Africa's
but
all white,
the problem
Okay.
that I see across the board is that people separate themselves. There's a separation. People want to put everything into separate things and into categories and this and that. We need to start coming down as a human thing. And in America, we are Americans. Let's just stay American.
You know
And let's
when I see
learn.
it
Let's
happening?
all learn about Black history. Let's all learn
Do you
about
know
white
what-
history.
Do
Let's
you
learn
know what
about
I see
everything.
the solution that can actually start to happen? And it's really sad that this has to happen for this to happen. But you know what the solution is? A fucking solar flare, or even a even a what do you call it? Even I don't want to say an EMP attack because that's just going to ramp shit up into a whole nother fear
here we
level.
go.
An asteroid hitting the Earth, but not enough to wipe out civilization, but enough to wipe out civilization to the point where we kind of have to start over, and we have to be community where we don't have our technology, we don't have our wondrous
alien
technologies.
invasion or something.
Alien
like
invasion,
that.
whatever it is. Okay,
That-
Anything that
fucking
causes
suck, man.
or a major, like a 2012 level natural disaster.
We
anything
think
that
technology
makes
is
everyone
evolving
come
us.
together and say, "Fuck, we need to do something."
technology is disconnecting us more and more and
No,
more.
it's not. It's bringing it together, bro. You kidding me?
Hold on,
Listen,
Rich.
I can look. I can
Rich,
think about it like this. I could put up a picture on.
connecting me and you.
Listen, I could put up a picture.
It
Listen,
ain't
hold on.
connecting my mom. It ain't connecting my dad.
Listen.
It ain't connecting my friends.
Nick, hold on.
You're my friend, so it is connecting me and you, so that makes sense.
I
Me
can
and
put up
Brian.
a picture, right, of myself on Instagram,
Uh-huh.
and instantaneously have somebody in North Korea see it.
Uh-huh.
That's called connection.
That's called connection.
We're connecting
but
with
is
other
that
people.
connection more valuable? Hold on. Is that having that one new connection with somebody
You're
who's
talking
across
about-
the globe? Is that okay? Is that justifiable for losing two connections in the real world? I'm not saying you
You're
did.
talking
I'm
ab-
not saying
you're-
you did.
you're talking
but I'm
about-
saying it
you're-
happens
you're-
all over, and
all
it is
right,
happening more
I
and
see what
more.
you're saying.
And
He's
how our
talking about-
There's
communities
people that are
become.
addicted to their smartphones. They're on Facebook
I have people.
23 hours.
I have people that I've been best friends with, literally best friends. We call each other BFF, right? That live less than a mile away from me and aren't really interested in coming over and hanging out. And hey, that might be something more to do with me than technology. But I'm telling you, I guarantee you, that happens to other people where they're like, I have people that I was once so close with, and they now live so close to me, and that they have no interest in seeing me. Why don't they have any interest in seeing me? Well, Walking Dead comes on tonight, and I was going to go through Facebook, and I got this memories thing, and Facebook told me about I have memories for today, so I want to go through all that, and they get caught up in all of that, and well, hold on, I got my game on my phone, my slot game on my phone, and they get caught up in all that shit, and they're like, oh, End of the night. Oh, didn't have time to even talk to my friend today. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? I talked to a friend who was in North Korea on Facebook today, so I didn't need to talk to that person. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we disconnect. And then all of a sudden, when technology shuts down, you and that person in North Korea don't know each other from Jack, and ain't never going to talk to each other from Jack. And you and that two people that you could have been in contact with in the real world are now disconnected from each other and don't want anything to do with each other because personalities, egos, and psychology gets in the way, and you can't you don't even want to talk to each other anymore. So if technology goes away, all of a sudden we all sit there like.
Well, what's the solution to that? Because remember, this is a solution show.
The solution is a giant fucking EMP from an alien or something.
Here we go.
No, it's realistically possible. Some sort of an EMP from outer space.
Well, anyway.
That's the solution in my mind. Is technology needs to
I
go
think we need a better
down the
solution.
toilet. We need to start over, and that's what ends up happening.
No, not start over. We just need to rebrand our shit. But anyway, this is it, man.
That's exactly. You just said it. All right? This is exactly how we're going to end 3NN this week because it is a solution. We need to start, and this is a solution for all the fucking problems on this fucking planet. We need to start looking at this planet, and there's no, world government, nothing like that in my mind whatsoever. My mind is straight up in unity, all right? We need to start looking at this fucking thing as one giant spaceship, all right? It might be on a set course around a star, around a flaming ball, okay? But we're on a giant spaceship, and we're all on this fucking thing together. And if we were all on a smaller spaceship out in the middle of space, and some of us were tearing down woods, and others of us were poisoning the water and doing shit like this, and letting some of the people sleep down in cargo and shit. Oh no, we letting some of the people sleep down in cargo while some of the people are sleeping up in luxury with satin sheets and bullshit. We wouldn't allow that shit on that fucking ship. So just because we're on a fucking bigger ship, we need to not allow that shit either. We need to have more people standing up for what's fucking right in this world.
With that, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this was Richie
And Brian.
And Nick noticed Tesla. What?
from 3NN.
Oh, he threw the notice in there.
Yeah, from 3NN. You know how we do. We're going to come back with some more good podcasts. So if you have any thoughts,
sir.
ideas, write them down in the comment section. Let us know how you feel. And
Subscribe,
subscribe, all that bullshit.
all that good
Hey,
stuff.
when it gets nice out, everybody also know you can come out and see us live. We'll start doing shows outdoors. I got a few different locations that I'm already scouting that we can do shows outside because we got a nice big table here. All we need is power.
Yeah.
So, you know what? We're going to make it happen, kids.
Yeah, we're going to make it happen,
All right,
man. We're going to
so,
make it happen. So
Sorry we're so short today, but it's Valentine's Day. People got shit to do.
stay tuned.
Exactly.
Have a good life.
Yeah,
Be good.
Damn straight.
And 3NN for life, babies.
Yeah, check us all out on Facebook, 3NN Podcast. Facebook.com
Where We Lied
3NN
To.
Podcast and YouTube.com/ Where We Lied To. Check it out, y'all.
Peace.
Later.
The solution is 42. 42 is the solution. What? That's the solution? That's a number. How's that the solution? Well, you really need to know the question first. It helps to know the question first. That's the ultimate answer.
I've got balls of steel.